All right, welcome. If you couldn't tell by that amazing intro what it is that we're going to do today, I thought I explained it pretty well, but if not, I have a tutorial for you. Okay, we're going to take a pose from any image you find and to then turn it into a new person created by AI or a real image. Doesn't matter, your input image can be anything. That's the best part about this. So you're going to go ahead and load up workflow one. Workflow one looks like this. I've organized it into steps, but basically, if you want to know how it works, then I'll tell you. But if you just want to use it, load an image into here that you want the pose from. And I'll show you. See, it's the same pose from the original image. That is what it's going to use in your final output. So whatever pose you want, just grab it off of Pexel's Instagram. I don't care where your image is, but that is what you load into there, and go ahead and run it and you'll get an output, and then go ahead and open workflow 2 and skip to that part. If you want to know how it works, the first step is we remove the background from the image, and then we add a depth control net map, and then we do the same thing again with a open pose control net map. You don't need to remove the background because it's already a black background. And then we blend the two with, you can adjust this number or whatever you think's best, into a final video. And the reason it's a video is because workflow 2 only takes videos in, not images. So that's what we have to go with. Now that you've loaded a workflow 2, same thing. If you just want to use it, load in the pose video that you made here, grab your input image. This is the input image that you want to change the pose into. So this is your person, this is your AI person, this is your real person, whatever your image is. I have a pre-made one here. I'll show you how to do it in a second. Type in a prompt down here that is what you want, like just similar. I use very simple prompts. I never use anything complicated. This is just the default prompt from the creator of the video model, so don't change that. Actually, I'll hide that so you don't worry about it. And then these settings over here are already fine, and then go ahead and run it, and then you'll get your output video that will look just like this. And then I'll show you how to get your picture in a second. So now I'll show you how it works. Step 1 is you're loading in your pose video, the one that we made in the first workflow. Step 2 is you're loading in your input image. And step 3 is you're prompting what you want the final video to be wearing. We're just creating images here, so you can't prompt any like movement or anything. It's pretty much just all visual. And for step 4, we're going with a super short length, as we, again, just need images. It's just a video because we're using a video model to generate the control net images. If you're curious, it's using Vase and it's using the CosVid LoRa, but I'll provide downloads to those right next to the workflow links. Okay, so to show you a quick example of how I made the input image, I'm going to use Canva. You can use any photo editing software that you want, whatever you got. But the size that I was using, I just checked, was 720 by 960. Go ahead and make a new design using that. The example I'm going to use is a random AI model I found on Instagram, just to show you that it works with like literally any AI pictures you can generate. Go ahead and crop it in here. So the main thing you're going to want to do, the trick is that the less is better. So the more that you're showing in the AI image, you're telling the AI to use that part of the image in its final generation. And that's going to limit it a lot because your AI pictures might have some mistakes or they might just not look that realistic. But the video model is very good at generating final images. So we're going to crop it in here and then remove the background. There's a lot of free background removers online. You can just look up BG remover into Google. But now that we have our final image here, so for the background, I literally just Googled beach and just found some random background beach. You can get a background from pretty much anywhere. You know, there's pictures on Instagram, but just find a image. You can go take a real image if you want. That's probably a good idea. Take a real image, get a background image, and you just want to line it up basically how you want it to look in the final one. I don't think this background is a low enough angle to where it's going to line up properly. Also, you want the image lighting and the background lighting to match, as it doesn't change too much as we're using a very low length in the video generator. But you want to play around with it, and you can get very, very good results. That's why I'm giving the workflow, so you don't have to build the workflow. You can just focus on experimenting and getting good results. Drag our input image into the step 2 load image area and go ahead and run the workflow, and you'll see how it works. And see, I'm giving you all the tools so you can just go ahead and experiment and try to get better stuff, and you don't have to worry about building the workflow. I've used this a lot, so the settings are pretty solid. The width and height do determine like what kind of results you get, so you do kind of want to not change those too much, but feel free to experiment. CFG and steps, I've done extensive testing. These are good settings. If your graphics card can't generate videos at these settings, I would recommend lowering the CFG first, and then you can lower the steps to around seven steps, and 1.5 CFG. I'd recommend that if you're having trouble. And if you still have trouble, then let me know and I will try to make a lower VRAM workflow. And skip. Boom, there we go. That video looks real good. Now we have the finished result, and looks actually turned out really well. I thought the lighting wouldn't match. So yeah, see, because it obviously is an outdoor background and it was an indoor picture, so it actually did a pretty good job of combining the two. So to recap, we got the original image, turned it into a pose, made an input, made a video, and then you screenshot the video and you make your final image. So I will show you. Get your video, go ahead. I mean, so you can get multiple images out of this, which is pretty cool. So you could like do one, save a frame there. You could do save a frame there. You get like 3 images out of one video. So thanks for watching. See ya.